Hi, we're live. We've only just realised since doing this that there is a slight delay in pressing start till when we're doing it, so if there's been a sort of jumpy start through some of them, that's why. So we've got a good day today and we thought we'd have a look at a couple more of the shells we've got. So I'm back with Caillin and Maia, and we're looking at something today that you'll probably know about, but you might not know some of the facts we're going to give about these. And these are oysters. So we'll start with Caillin.
Okay, so this one is a native oyster. It's native, if you didn't guess that part. It's significantly bigger than this, which is a Pacific oyster, which Maia will tell you about in a minute.
Can you say, I think the distinction we're going to be really making is these are wild and these are farmed in the UK. Yep.
Yes. Okay. So these were here originally. There is a couple projects to help bring these back. There's a lot of problems there. I think they're endangered.
They're just about extinct in a lot of areas. They really got hammered.
So they got trolled and
everything picked, and there used to be old school trawling in the Forth down at Edinburgh. There used to be huge amounts there, but if you'd go down beaches like Crammond, you'll actually see a lot of these, but they can actually be hundreds of years old, these shells, because they're just about extinct.
If you show the size, you'll see how thick they are.
They are really, really chunky. It looks kind of like
somebody's gone and added stuff in, but it's not that. It's natural layers of shell they built up over the years.
You think it's like sort of trees and that again with the layers?
Because
it tends to be with these.
You can see there's hundreds of little layers there.
But,
I'm not sure if they're like the farm. I know there's a couple of local farms around here, and I speak to them, and I know they get their growth when the water's at certain temperatures and plankton. So I'm not sure if each layer there is a year or if it's just when they get growth spurts, maybe. I'm not sure, but that's probably really old, and and it was old aged as well as being really old.
So these, like all oysters, they are bivalves, I believe. They are super impressive. They can filter water. There'll be a link attached for that part. They can filter up to 5 litres an hour of water, and you can see it's pretty impressive watching them do it. It goes from super murky to crystal clear. They are salt water in this country. I believe you do get freshwater oysters as well, but I don't think we have any in the UK. They are super pretty as well. I love these.
The inside's always really pretty too.
With them being like they are virtually extinct, one of the local guys, Jerry, he got some. He was out getting some spoots, the razor clams that we showed the other day. He got one, so obviously put it back because they shouldn't be touched. They are really, really rare. It's worth emphasising that.
Once in Crammond, they went swimming on the beach, and they found one, and obviously they opened it thinking there would be a pearl. There wasn't.
Right.
That's a really common mistake. People think these are going to have jewelry-like pearls in them.
They open up and it's got big pearls. They do not usually have pearls.
Every now and again, but
he got in big trouble from it.
Yeah.
So don't eat them. But what about? I think you know about there's some projects actually bringing these back.
Yes, there's Deep, which is Dornoch.
Environmental. I've got to try and remember now. Enhancement project. Deep. Deep was quite a cool one because it's deep water.
Yeah, smart as well.
They can live up to 15 years, but it's usually only 6.
Is that those ones? That's the wild ones. Yeah.
Is it?
Okay.
I would have thought they'd be.
I thought they were older, but
no, that's what told me.
Right. The Dornoch project, what are they up to there, do you know?
They did this really cool thing, and they got like a bunch of empty shells, and then they put them all on the floor, and then they took, was it from Loch Fyne?
Loch Rain? It's one of the few where the wild ones are still existing.
Yes, and they put them on top of the shells because they're a lot like marl and flame shells. They kind of like to stick stuff.
It's reefs again. It's making these sort of multi-layered reefs with puppets. The layered reefs, puppet time. So the reefs where the shells build up, it's like marl and everything. It leaves bits in between for small things to live.
Shall we show it?
You can grab it if you like. But because they were so rare, what they did have to do, they were using scallop shells and mussel shells. They were buying aquacultural ones, and they've layered them out. And they started, I think it was it 96? Sorry, 2016. Or it's fairly recent. They started with a few, and they had really good survival rates. It was featured on Countryfile and a few other things.
Yeah.
But they're proposing putting out, I think it's a couple of million they're aiming for. In Dornoch, they're going to fill, I think it's around that. I've forgotten the name of the area now. There's a little nature reserve there. So that's a project in the UK. There's a huge one going on in New York. Do you know that one?
$1 billion.
They're trying to get $1 billion back, aren't they?
Billion oyster project.
Which is our merle.
There's a
fish eggs. And
Lego
that's
merle.
from The Little Mermaid. So
Possibly not to scale with the dolphin,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
it's, we're pretending it's salmon or something.
but the New York one, they've been
they're
not that
really,
longer.
really impressive. I think they're doing that mainly for wave control because they can break
They
down.
actually prevent floods, I think.
Yeah.
They can prevent floods, stop murky water. They're very
They're great at cleaning water. So like New York Harbour's really dirty, so that's one of the reasons.
They're like a natural filter.
Yep. They also they're great for environmental coastal protection, coastal erosion.
Yes.
And there was a brilliant thing on Radio 4 a few years ago. We should try and find that, actually. They reckon Manhattan was hit by about 8 tsunamis over history. They've got geological evidence. And they think it was mussels and oysters possibly that protected it. Because a jaggy, multi-layered thing takes the power out the waves as they come in. It's covering more area on the same thing.
Surprisingly enough, they always have to have I read this once. They usually try to live on shells or hard surfaces. They require that to live. But they don't really like really, really wavy areas.
No.
No.
I'm
If
not
it's
sure.
way too wavy, they...
I suppose, that the spat wouldn't settle.
Not
So anyway, it's got huge protective powers, and it's farming things too for eating and that too. So they are bivalves against, like we said with the other ones. Be careful when you're eating them; they are prone to absorbing pollutants and anything nasty in the
And you
water.
shouldn't eat these ones either.
No, these ones definitely not.
Do not
I'm pointing at that one. I'm saying that don't eat these ones.
Do not eat.
Yep.
Do not eat.
Yeah.
Do not eat.
Have we got that one over a few times? I think.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
So what?
So
These are ones people might be more used to, especially people that eat them in restaurants. So do you
these
want to tell
are
us these?
Pacific oysters.
Yeah.
And some people call them Pacific cupped oysters because they're sort of in a cup shape. And Caillin made a beautiful candle from it. And Alison up in Applety Buoy, she makes these too.
Yeah, it's
makes
from
them
Salt Restaurant. They
Yes.
actually reuse them and
So
make organic
when
candles out of them.
When you go to restaurants, these are probably the ones you'll be eating. There are farms all over the world for these.
We got Elsa here.
Elsa and Joe, they're just they're just north of Ullapool actually. And do you know how they farm them?
Nope.
I think they tie them to. They have them on ropes, don't they?
It's sort of, have you ever seen it's a sort of metal cage that they get the spat really, really small, they buy it in and then put them out at the intertidal zone, so it's quite low down.
I can't remember whether this one was native or Pacific, but one of them, the females in spawning season, I think this was native. They can lay up to 50 to 200 million eggs.
That's a lot.
That's
lads.
Pacific.
Is it
Yeah,
Pacific,
this is Pacific. So as you can imagine,
Cool.
these can breed.
So yeah, these are the ones that you'll commonly see in restaurants. And do you know how they're served?
Well, they're served.
raw.
They're served.
Like they're disgusting.
They tend to
They're
be.
like slime, but some people like them. They have them like
slime.
they have them here.
Delicious.
You have this bit comes off, and then you have them like that bit.
It's shocking. It's called the same as
Same
scallops.
scallops, and I think it's a couple others as well. It's called shucking, and some people have like Tabasco and lemon and stuff.
Yeah, so you can have all sorts of things.
It can be
Easily.
controversial, not only just a dispute of whether it's nice or not. Some people say it tastes of the sea, others say it's like clearing your throat. But also the fact that it's potentially live, I'm never quite sure with it.
Yeah, there was. I saw quite a lot about that.
Yeah. So they're quite impressive.
I just had a message from Ross Flett up in Orkney. Ross is someone that follows what's going on here quite a bit.
Okay.
So Shetland. And he said, Glen Morangi, they're in partnership with MCS, Marine Conservation Society down at Dornoch.
Yes.
It is quite a good. I think there's a couple of other partners. It's, I think, one of the universities or something. Marriott, oh God, I can't remember for sure. But yeah, it's Glen Morangi, the distilleries over on the East Coast there in conjunction with Marine Conservation Society. And it is a good project. It's worth checking out, the Deep project.
One of the reasons Pacifics are actually here was because these big beauties of native oysters, they were going extinct, and they still are, so they're very endangered. So people decided that they would bring in these. And they did, and it worked, but these are they actually decreased the numbers of native oysters slightly, I think.
Yeah.
For a while.
So it was a bit of a problem, but then people started farming them and they worked much better.
Yeah, it
because
works
they
much better than
farmed
just having them.
contained-
I have seen down in Cornwall in the Falmouth estuary, the Falmouth Bucks, I think they call it. It was like a marine protected area. They're still actually allowed to fish natives, but it's they can dredge, but it's only with sail. So it's little sailing boats, and they take out just small single sort of dredges that pick them up. It's quite interesting to watch because it's quite an art to be able to sail and do that stuff. So that's down Cornwall if anyone wants to search. We'll try and see if we can find a link for that too. We've got a link on the cleaning. Talking about cleaning, there's a tadpole update. The tadpoles are almost starting to get back legs there, if you can see them.
Just getting legs.
So
That's a bit funny though.
but I think that's... Oh, there's a couple of others here that would...
So these,
guessing.
I think they are, you can see in the book, I think they're common saddle oysters. They do look very similar, but if there's any oyster experts, please say. And I'm not so sure about this one.
Very small to ride those on a horse.
Yes.
Sort of feel like
Is
on a
that-
pinky toe.
Is
This
that just
one-
a normal native? Or?
Well, it's hard to tell. It might just be a worn down bit of native, but it could also be a saddle.
Yeah.
Same as that. That
If
one's
anyone's
beautiful
got any,
on the
God,
inside.
that is actually, it's
So
almost
if
like
you
mother of
know-
pearl.
That
Please
is.
tell us, because
Yeah.
It's got a little log line.
Keelworm.
Keelworm.
Yeah, that's the ones that you find when we get them on the side of the boat.
you'll see them
We
everywhere.
actually got one we're drying out. We found that the other day in a huge log, so we're hoping to have a look at that.
Yes.
Surely, so that might
Yeah,
be
there
another
was a
one to look at.
massive, Noel actually found it, and I took a look of it, and I ran away because I got a bit scared because it was massive.
So I think that's about it on oysters. If anyone's got any oyster facts or things they'd like to send us, please do, or
stories
in the
about
comments
people
or
you know who
messages.
might have had to
Yep,
pick.
people that did it. Yep, and if not, we'll hopefully have something again soon. So bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. Maybe just stop now.